Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Phantom. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it's free to join. So we're still looking for more evidence that we're looking for, a bigger breakout to the upside here. If we are looking at a 5-wave structure, potentially this third wave location would be up here towards this $2.82. So we need to maintain this good structure here to the upside to continue to look for this. There is also the potential we could be forming a shorter move here where we're looking for basically a 5-wave move up towards this $1.20 region, and this could just be looking for a 3-way structure to the upside if we do not achieve this $2.82 range. So what we need to talk about at the moment is, we have discussed the fact that there is still potential that we are not finished this corrective move to the downside, and this B wave could still be in progress here. Alternatively, the other way we are looking at this is that we could have actually set a high we set a C wave high basically into this point here, in which case we could still be looking for that possibility of a push to the downside, which could still look to bring us down again towards this 14 cent to this 9 cent 12 range. So this is the two options that I'm currently looking at. We're going to discuss what needs to happen for the bullish one first, and then we'll discuss what we need to be on the lookout for that bearish option. Okay, so if we want to say that, we're looking for that bullish scenario in this case, what we'd be looking for is that possibility that we are looking for a breakout here. So I'm actually just going to turn this off. And what we'd be looking for is the potential that we have 1, 2, 1, 2 here. And now we are looking for this bigger third wave to the upside. So confirmation would only come by pushing up much higher here towards the 69.40 range. And it is possible we're starting to build this move and it's starting to get going now. So what we'd want to see is, like I said, a move up towards this 69.40. Until we actually push up into this zone, we just need to be careful because, until we actually take this high of this 53.06, I am looking for that potential that we could still see another drop to the downside here. And then finally, if we do move down and take out this 30 cent 41, that would invalidate this bullish potential off of this move here. And we'd be looking at the targets for the bearish scenario, which we're going to discuss in a second. So the key zone here as a support zone of this whole move to the upside is this 40 cent 23 to this 34.28. So I've got this zone on here, just for the case that potentially we could just have this as an A wave, this is a B, and then we come back down you come back up for a C. And it could be that, if we look at it in this manner, maybe this B wave isn't completed and we could still see a drop to the downside here, back into the support box, and then look to push to the upside. So this would be just in a corrective way. If we do lose this 37.81, that would invalidate the possibility of looking at this as basically a 1-2, 1-2, and then it would make more sense that actually this is just a corrective structure to the upside. So I'm just keeping an eye on this, for as long as we actually fail to take this 53.06, can't rule out the factor of downside. Okay, so if we are already starting this bigger push to the upside here, what I would be looking for is, like I said, the 69.40 range. And how we would get there would look something like this. So this would just be looking at the internals here. We would have to then count this again as another 1, 2 in here, and then be looking for either the fact that we are already within this bigger wave 3 here, which is starting to extend out, which would look to push us up towards this 59.14 area, for a typical wave 3 air zone. Or alternatively, we could be forming another 1 and 2 in here. So this is something that can happen. We need to see how it plays out. But I'm looking out for the possibility, if I come here to the 1 hour, I'm looking out for the possibility that we are looking to actually complete this move where this becomes 1, 2, 3. We're looking for a bigger fourth wave move in here, and then looking for that fifth wave move to the upside. If we do actually get this additional fifth wave in here, what we want to do is hold this 4731. So we can see that would actually be retest at the top of this channel, and it would be coming back into the zone of some of these highs. So the 382 would be higher up here, this 4796. Watching this zone to see if we do find support there. If we fail to hold support here, potentially we could look to move down to this 4731, and that would still keep this intact. What we would want to see, though, is basically have a fourth and a fifth wave here, and then look for that retracement for a wave 2. Either that or within the structure here, potentially we would be extending out where, might not be visible at the moment, but we could have formed another 1-2 here like this 1-2. Then we start to progress up in a more sort of vertical manner. But this is just speculation at this point. Arguing that it's extending like that, but it is a possibility. So we need to keep an eye on it. If we do come back into this 47.31, the immediate target I'll be looking for would be this 51.68 to this 50 cent 70 range. So the dangerous thing that we need to be on the lookout for here is that if we do see a move up to that 1-to-1 like this could then complete a corrective structure, which could make this an A wave, this a B wave, and would actually mean that we're going to drop down to that support zone that we talked about, looking to actually come back into some of these lower zones here. So as long as we fail to break this 5306, and even if we do just slightly break it, need to just be aware that we could see this fall apart. If we see this 5 wave move to the upside play out, where we get this additional fourth and a fifth here, if we do lose this low of this 44.10, basically it would invalidate that idea of having this as an additional 1-2 here, and we'd have to just treat this as a corrective move, in which case we could be then looking for this to actually break to the downside. And I'm going to go off of this 1-to-1, that which could then actually lead to a sell-off back down towards this 39.01 if we treat this as an A, this is a B, and then this is a C wave. So, we'd have to just keep an eye on this. If we do start to break down here, this could be a target area that we look to come back into. So the key zones here, if we're looking for this bullish scenario here, is basically holding this 44.08. We need to see whether we get a fourth wave here. Looking for this zone here of this 48.77 to this 47.31. Fifth wave up. Look for a 3-wave retracement back to the downside here, and then look for that continuation to the upside. So if we do move up into this zone that I have marked out, and then retrace to the 0.618, this 5607 is going to be that target we're looking for. And in the bigger picture here, what we want to see is a move up past this 5914. We want to see a nice big strong move up past this zone, and then look for that additional fourth and a fifth, which could look to take us somewhere around the 63.93 to the 60.92. So this is provided that we don't get further extension within these waves, and obviously that it develops into a 5-wave move. So what happens if we don't get a 5-wave structure to the upside? Well, then what we have to be careful of is the fact that we could have something more like this playing out, where we look at this as a W wave to the downside, this is an X wave, and then we're still looking for a potential Y wave. So that potential Y wave could still look to bring us back down towards this 24.95. If this is the case, we could be setting up that ABC for the first part of this move, and then we could actually look to break down into this zone. So if we do look to push up here, so I've just marked this up to, like we were talking about, A, B, and C. Potentially 1-to-1 would actually take us up towards this area of this 52.86. But if we fail to reach that, some other interesting zones are we've actually come past this 0.618. So, technically speaking, this move as an A, B, and a C, that could actually be completed already here, because we've come past this 0.618. So we'll have to monitor this. However, I do say, like I said, I do think that we're going to get a fourth wave here, and then potentially a fifth. So if we do get that, I'm going to be keeping an eye out on this 1-to-1 area, which would actually put us in here, the zone for a double top. Or alternatively, we've got some key highs here towards this 50 cent 63 and this 50 cent 89. Keeping an eye on these and see if we do get a swing failure off of these. But basically, those would tie into coming up into this 0.786 area and this 0.854 of this wave A. So this is the bearish scenario here, where we're actually going to look to push down first. So we would be looking at something like this, effectively, to seeing a 5-wave move to the downside. If we do actually get a breakdown like this, some potential target areas, if we're going to look at it as a flat, I already did the 1-to-1 there at this 38.44. So that's one of them. If, however, we do break this high, potentially then we could be looking at something like an expanding flat here. This becomes A, B, C to the upside, and then we're looking for a C wave to the downside after that point. So gonna have to keep an eye on this. If we do break this high, potentially this would change the target of this, and we could actually look for these lower prices to come in here, where we could actually look for basically, sorry, that's the wrong one. This zone down here of this 37.10 to this 33.17, dependent on how high we come here. So I've just done that just past here because I'm looking at this one-to-one, looking at that possibility of coming back up and forming a double top here, and then looking for that possibility to break down. So if we do, that would actually look to target out lower down here towards this 37.10 to this 33.17. Really, until we take this high though of this 53.06, I'm still just being cautious of the fact, we could still see this start to break down for this 24.95 as a one-to-one as a W, X, and a Y. We do have these bullish potentials here, but the moves need to start pushing away from this zone and continuing to set these higher lows here. If we start to lose structure and lose this 44.08, and then finally this 39.67, basically, this would invalidate that extension that we're looking at, and then we'd have to look for these lower targets here and, potentially look to find support lower down here. If I just throw this fib on, between this 40 cent 27 to this 34.29. If we start to lose 34.29 though, it becomes more likely, that we are in a bigger structure to the downside here. So the other more bearish scenario is that we could be looking at a breakdown. That's not it. Where is it? Which would be something like this, where we're actually forming a 1-2, 1-2, and then we're looking for a much deeper break to the downside. But we don't have confirmation of this, and this would only come by actually dropping down past the 1772 area. And the thing is, the way that the structure is forming to the downside now, particularly this bit, it is very overlapping. And I mean, the only way you could potentially argue that you have something here is maybe as a diagonal, but then yeah, I mean, it would work, but it's not the neatest example of it. So I'm just being a little bit skeptical of it at the moment. But if we do fail to achieve this zone of this 53.06 and we start to break down and, we start to form a bigger five-wave structure to the downside, which then in turn looks to pass this area here of this, let's throw this on here, of this 31.41. Basically, then, we could actually be looking for a bigger drop here where we have something like this as a 2, come back down, look for this push to the downside here, and then actually get something like this with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which could then look to either bring us back into this bottom channel here, in which case we would be looking for that support, or alternatively, it could start to get nasty and actually break down in a bigger way, looking for this 1772 area as a wave 3. So this is why we have to just monitor this until we actually get back above these highs. This one here of this 53.06, this 59.50, and then finally breaking back above the 65.92. We need to get back above these zones. Otherwise, we could actually just see this reject. We have broken out of this channel here, but we haven't actually, retested it. It's possible that we could see something like this where we actually break out of this, come back, fail to find support, and then actually break to the downside, something like that. So this is why we need to just be a little bit cautious of this move at the moment. There is that bullish potential, like I said, but we need to see it hold after it completes. If we see a five-wave move play out to the upside here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we want to see a three-wave move finding support back above these zones here of this 44.08 and then looking for that continuation. Failing to do so would be starting to indicate to me that, potentially we need to look down before we look to go up if we're looking at the bullish case. And if we're looking at that bearish case, that we could actually start to fall off in a much bigger way here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both Primex BT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.